Hello. Are you an event manager that's wondering where to put your focus in for 2026? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today, I'll be sharing with you five top event trends for 2026 that are being discussed in all the places right now. And I'll also give you tips on how these trends that can be used with the hope that it sparks ideas for you on how you can incorporate some of these into your workflow and into your event flow so that you're working smarter and not harder. So if you're here today with me live, that's amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm excited that you're here. Please jump in the chat. Let me know that you're tuning in and where you are tuning in from today. And if you're here in the future, welcome. It's good to have you here as well. A big welcome to everyone. So let's jump in, why don't we? I'm excited to jump in these trends because I've ordered these so that we end up with the trend that is really being talked about almost in every conversation that I know. So we'll get to that last one, I promise. Don't you worry. But all of these are pretty powerful. So if you're ready to get started, let's go. The first up here is wellness. Wellness as a trend. Yes, wellness, my friends, it has evolved. Right now, we're blending wellness into the event experience. Planners are building wellness lounges, reset spaces. Wellness is no longer an add on or an afterthought. We're no longer trying to see if people enjoy it and adding on that run walk onto an event. It's now an essential component of your attendee experience. It's designed to be helpful exactly when the attendees need it. And these spaces, these wellness spaces, they can feature things like micro sessions, mindfulness micro sessions that maybe target breath work and relaxation, to exercises that are designed to refresh and revive attendees during a long day. Many planners are also designing wellness experiences now more than 3 years ago than even a year ago. So it definitely is increasing. And there's more intention and focus on creating purposeful interaction with attendees, like wellness infused networking and contribution boards, guided reflection walls. All of these are helpful to create community without an added session. This kind of an intentional interaction plus wellness equals energy that lasts way longer than the closing keynote. Planners are adding in more breathing room into the agenda, giving more purposeful transitions for attendees so that their days feel calmer and easier to navigate. This is not about bubble baths at conferences. It's about building breathing room into the agenda so that brains can actually work. When we plan with more intention, with more purpose, giving space for attendees to breathe, paying attention to what wellness means for them, and creating that experience, they're actually learning more and having amazing networking experiences on top of that. Lastly, I want to touch on food and beverage in this space because that's super important. We're seeing elements like detox breaks, offering immunity shots, beautiful natural juice blends for those that want to pay more attention to their health. And these offerings can be just a treat for not only your attendees themselves, they can be a treat for their bodies as well. So, another thing is consider also sober curious or zero proof offerings. That's for those that want to enjoy an evening without having their options limited to alcohol or a boring variety of sodas or pop or whatever you would call it. Finding unique ways to incorporate things like fruits and veggies, healthy options, healthier options that not only tantalizes the senses, that it creates a fun, immersive wellness experience for everyone. Bottom line, wellness isn't a perk anymore. It is a performance strategy. And when people feel better, they're going to show up better. So I want to know, how are you incorporating wellness into your events and what's working for you in your business? Let me know in the chat or leave a comment. I would love to know what you're thinking about this trend. Okay, before I get into the next one, a quick reminder for you to like this video, do that thumbs up on the video, and subscribe to the channel to get notified for when we post any new videos. And I'll pause here for you to do that. All right, so the next trend is that you pay attention and to this one. It's designing immersive and emotional experiences. So the key here is a shift. There's a shift that's happening. So of course we want wow decor, but the shift is bringing intention into the designing so that we're designing with clarity, with relevance, and with outcomes. But we're not going to forget emotion, right? So the emotional part of that is that emotive experiences, they're trending. Um, they're trending and really focus on how the attendee feels as they experience their event from the moment they walk in until they leave, because in the end, people don't remember schedules, they remember sensations. So consider designing for feeling, not just flow, which is the shift and which is the trend. Areas where this is relevant is designing micro experiences. We talked about those like in wellness, but having areas in which connections can be made, deep dives can be done, demos, like nooks, demo nooks. I keep saying lounges, but lounges. These are the types of experiences that are going to engage curiosity and then also help inspire. Another way of doing this is to add sensory cues to your meeting, like layered lighting, sound zones to create immersion without the expensive tech. Maybe even adding like a simple story spine to add immersion, which is one message that's communicated through through repeatable moments. And that can be a bonus because it allows decor decisions to get faster and easier throughout your event. Planners are adding in small elements of chef demos, tastings, unique small experiences so that the food is not just, entertainment, it's like entertainment for your event. So, are you doing this in your programs? I want to know. What are you doing to produce immersive, emotional designs for your event? Please let me know in the chat or in the comments. Next up, we have the trend of doing more with less. Yes, this is a trend, especially as we continue to come up against economic factors worldwide. How are planners doing it? That's the question. How are they delivering these amazing experiences that are on budget when budgets continue to dwindle? Well, this does take lead time from identifying a cohesive strategy to defining and implementing a plan. So here are some areas that are showing up as great opportunities for managing that tight bottom line on events. All right, so this is what they're doing. Some organizations have consolidated their event strategies to run fewer high impact events. Of course, this is to protect budget and focus, but it allows opportunity to amplify the outcomes with a tighter follow up. Essentially, it's just narrowing your focus from working on many events to fewer. Now, this strategy works because not only does it save the organization money, time, but there's also a benefit to the attendees as well. They're able to receive the outcomes necessary for them to take the next step that they need to, but also done with fewer meetings. Location also plays a part. We all love this industry and it contributes to the overall travel industry. But if you do have to be a little bit more reasonable in your budget and you are working on multiple programs, consider going regional or more local to reduce some of that travel friction. This helps because it reduces cost. It also reduces your carbon footprint, which is super important, and perhaps even some complexity it would reduce as well, but you still would get that in-person value. Another thing is you can finding ways for you to build modular programming, meaning have repeatable run of show blocks, sponsorship packages, items like signage kits that can help cut down the need for you to reinvent. on your next event. So if you're short on time and if or money, you can create the structure to have this modular programming, and that can be a real asset for your event. So essentially, you're reusing what works, repeating what converts, and retiring what drains your time. Now, because the world is moving faster, business is moving faster, ideas are generating faster, more now than ever. And the agility that drives the idea exchange, the community, and the collaboration on your events, having that agility is the way to go. The key to focusing and prioritizing on what attendees value instead of overspending on just ambience alone. That's really the key. And this helps you to best have a great return on investment on any program. All right. So speaking of ROI, next up is a trend that's proving your event value. That is the trend. It's coming in hot for 2026. With all the data that we have flowing around, the ability to calculate your return on investment or your return on experience on events is easier. It's so much easier now than ever. And so measuring your ROI or your ROE on events is going to put you ahead of the curve, especially when combined with presenting those results in a meaningful way that's going to inspire movement, inspire action, and inspire change. So, how is this being done? I can't go into too much detail in this video, but there's some key things that we're seeing. And what we do is you start to create a plan to measure 3 to 5 success metrics. This can be based off of attendance, retention, learning, budget, and then report out on them when the data is complete and when you can review and analyze that data. Because ROI isn't about proving worth after the event, it's about really designing intention and designing with intention before it starts. So you want this to be a part of your overall strategy before you even start your planning process. There are areas like engagement metrics and behavior signals that you can extract data from in order to support your data story with ROI too. Now, privacy can be a concern here sometimes as it relates to data. So ensure that you're make consent and have consent visible in your registration or even on your on-site tech if you have to help you reduce the risk and it improves your confidence for that data usage. The key is to start to measure. Start to measure your data, and then analyzing that data can be just easier with artificial intelligence, which leads us into our final trend for this video, which is AI. I told you it was going to be one that a lot of people are talking about. This is a very hot topic for 2026. Now, the trend, though, that I'm presenting is not just telling you to start to use AI for ideation, for brainstorming, but we now are seeing AI is operational. What does that mean? Well, businesses are using AI to fortify their workflows. For example, if you were to just take one workflow per week, let's just say sourcing, how can you operationalize sourcing through AI? That would be a question. And another follow up question that you can ask is what tasks do you repeat over and over again that that task can be perhaps taught to AI? And further, how can you automate that task through AI? We're starting to see areas like sourcing, you do venue lists and RFP support and comparisons, all leaning on AI. Areas like communication, content management, reporting are all being adapted with AI in the event industry. And in doing so, it is reducing overwhelm. So, other areas you can see AI generated are generate AI generated summaries, and AI is being used for engagement tracking, for content workflows. And this is for execution type tasks, not just brainstorming. So it's actually doing the work for you. Now, there are many more things that I can point to chatbots or FAQ assistants for frequently asked questions that you put on websites or registration forms even that can help you reduce the multitude of questions that come out as soon as you send out a registration form or that are coming in constantly for any event. Having a chatbot or one of those assistants can help reduce staff loads, allowing them to focus on things that are more important. In essence, the smartest planners aren't just using AI for ideas, they're using it for execution. So there you have it. 5 trends that we're seeing right now in the event industry in 2026, hot topics, and ones to keep your eyes on. Write a comment on if you see that any of these trends are making an impact on your work, and let me know how. How is it making an impact on your work? And don't forget to like this video if you received any value from it, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. Later.